Thanks for joining me. I'd like to start by expressing my sympathy for all of those involved in this very stressful situation ongoing in Jasper National Park. Thousands of residents and visitors to the park being forced out of the town site last night, likely a very stressful and scary situation. Always important to stay tuned to local media as well as official information sources during times like these. This video is going to be a very informal look at fire weather today and tomorrow as I see it. But for official updates on the wildfire and what you can do, stay tuned to Parks Canada and the municipality of Jasper. We're actually going to take a look at what's going on here based on satellite imagery. This is from the GOES 18 satellite that sits at about 36,000 kilometers above the equator at 135 degrees west longitude. Looking down on planet Earth here, this is Jasper National Park, and as we can see right in the middle there, very active wildfire conditions ongoing at the surface. For reference, here at the tip of my cursor sits the town site of Jasper, and just northeast of the town there also a smaller fire burning, but likely the biggest fires here burning southeast, well southeast of the town site at this time, with very intense fire behavior driving this smoke plume here. You can see, and even some cumulus clouds starting to form on top. That just means that smoke plume is going high enough in the atmosphere that's cooling to the point that you get cloud condensation. That's what we call pyrocumulus clouds, and they're just an indication that this is a fairly intense burning wildfire driven by strong winds. As we can see, strong southwesterly winds blowing across the Rocky Mountains there. Looking at the shortwave product here as well, we can see it is an outlier compared to the surrounding areas of BC and Alberta, certainly the most intense wildfire on the landscape in this part of Western Canada at this time. We can also look here at the satellite indicated hotspots. We have to be careful with this product because it is approximate. It comes from polar orbiting satellites that this one, I believe, is going to be from the VIIRS satellite that has passed over at about 2 p.m., just after 2 p.m., Mountain Daylight Time on Tuesday. I'm recording this at about 2:30 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time for reference. So again, we have to be careful. This is just approximate. Sometimes these pixels can be triggered by the hot smoke plume itself or from glints of water. And also sometimes these pixels can be, wildfire on the landscape can be obscured by clouds and the tree canopy itself. But likely a good approximation as to where these fires are burning. It looks like we've had from that one fire off to the southeast here. It looks like there were two initially, and they're starting to merge together here. Some significant spread to the northeast with this fire here, and some significant spread and expansion to the north and northeast with this fire as they begin to merge here. We have to keep in mind that this is complex mountainous terrain, so the winds can be very erratic with these southwest winds crossing the Rockies, likely seeing some local effects where we're seeing, that wind channeling down these river valleys here. This is the Athabasca River Valley here. Running from southeast to northwest. This here is the Whirlpool River. This is the Astoria, and this is the Miette. And of course, you can have where they, at the confluence of these rivers, which basically this fire is really burning in that broad Athabasca Valley at the confluence of the Athabasca and the Whirlpool here. There can be some enhanced wind effects in this region, and likely seeing some kind of channeling of the winds up the valley here from the south. So again, with this southerly wind, we really want to make sure it stays south and southwest here in the valley. We don't want it to go south, back north, westward toward the Jasper town site there, because that's, of course, that would be very bad. So hopefully we continue to keep this fire spreading north and northeast. It looks like we're probably going to get some spread edging toward the Jasper region. Bit of a nail biter the next couple of days here as we see strong gusty winds in the valley. Again, hopefully keeping that fire to the south and east of the town site, as well as this other fire burning northeast of the town site. Hopefully that continues to burn away as well. But this is where the fire is likely burning. It has expanded fairly rapidly, and with those strong winds, especially blowing upslope, likely you're going to be seeing some fairly intense fire spread and fire behavior here as it spreads up the slope of this mountain here with this southwesterly wind. Basically what's going on the large scale here, we're looking at a water vapor satellite imagery. We can see here off the coast of Haida Gwaii, BC's west coast, an upper low swirling there, a big upper disturbance, fairly sharp shortwave trough rotated through the flow last night, bringing us that widespread thunderstorm activity and thousands of lightning strikes across BC and Alberta, leaving us here in a southwest flow aloft across the mountains for the next couple of days ahead of this next shortwave trough upper disturbance moving through into our region by Wednesday night, bringing some much needed rainfall across the region. But we have to get through these 2 days because fire danger continues to be extreme here. If we zoom in on the Jasper area, it continues to be extreme down low there with drought conditions ongoing. You can look at some of these other indices here. That drought code, of course, showing that it's dry to a fairly significant depth, and those larger fuels are also dry. So these fires can burn hot, they can burn deep. And of course, we've got rapid spread rates with those gusty winds in the afternoon hours. I've actually gone ahead and clicked on a point location on this Spot WX map here. This is a good tool, at least for raw model data. And we can look here at the HRDPS, and our daytime high temperatures based on this model are about 25 degrees today with a relative humidity 22%. Anytime your temperature value is higher than your relative humidity value, that's what we call crossover, just an indication of potentially significant fire spread conditions because it's very dry. And given the gusty winds as well, here the model showing that winds likely in that location in the valley bottom coming out of the south, 20 gusting 40 kilometers an hour, a little bit of recovery with lighter winds overnight tonight before we are warm and dry once again tomorrow, highs near 26 or so, relative humidity at 16% there in the mid to late afternoon. So again, crossover conditions, gusty winds, perhaps gusting as high as 50 kilometers an hour out of the south. So very concerning fire spread conditions there. Again, hopefully keeping this fire to the south and east of the town site. We'll have to watch and see what this wind does, because we just have to make it to late Wednesday night into Thursday, as we're going to start to see some significant precipitation across parts of western Alberta. Based on the National Blend of Models forecast here, over 20 millimeters of rain by Friday morning for Jasper. Other models also showing similar totals here. The European showing about 15 millimeters of rain, along with a couple of cooler days there. That'll certainly help, really reduce that fire spread, at least for the near term. And the Canadian model here also showing just over 20 millimeters of rain in the vicinity of this wildfire. So that would certainly be good news for that situation. Again, really want to keep that fire away from the town site. Currently, based on just estimates on the satellite map here, and those satellite indicated hotspots, that fire still likely about 15 kilometers, at least 10 to 15 kilometers southeast of the town site. But of course, we really hope to keep that fire to the south and east as those winds continue to be gusty out of the south up the valley throughout the next couple of days. I'll try to provide another update here tomorrow morning. But of course, stay tuned to official sources, local media for updates. And thanks for joining me. We'll talk to you next time.